In the middle of the 19th century, the great powers began to forcibly open up Asian countries, which for centuries had a strong policy of isolation. But slowly Catholicism found its way into Korea beginning in the late 18th century, and so too did foreign works. Meanwhile, the British opened up the Chinese after the Opium Wars, and in 1854 an American fleet under Commodore Perry forced Japan to open up as well. And more missionaries began crossing the Korean border illegally, many of which belonged to the Paris Foreign Mission Society. And the French had been sending missionaries all over Asia, and the persecution of missionaries in Vietnam prompted a French invasion of Vietnam in the 1850s. Then, in 1856, Simeon Francois Bernot became head of the Korean Catholic Church, which then, although illegal, still had around 20,000 followers. But in 1864 King Gojong became king, but he was just a child. So his father, the Daewon Gong, ruled as regent, and he began to persecute the Catholics even more so, and thousands were killed. But the Russians, looking to expand their influence south, also sent a man of war outside Wonsan, demanding trade and residency right. The Catholics saw this as an opportunity to pressure the government into signing an anti-Russian alliance with France. However, when Bernot and other missionaries entered the capital to discuss these plans, they were executed, and the government began to round up and execute thousands of converts. The fear of Christianity could well stem from the news of the Taiping Rebellion in China, where millions were killed after the rebel leader claimed to be the brother of Jesus Christ and set up a heavenly kingdom. Then, an American ship under W.B. Preston illegally sailed down the Taedong River, trying to reach Pyongyang and open up Korea. But it got stuck in the river and was set alight with fireboats, and all the crew were killed. And news of the massacre of the French missionaries reached Pierre-Gustave Rose, the admiral of the French Far Eastern Squadron, and Henry de Bellonnet, the French consul in Peking, and they planned to launch a punitive expedition. In September 1866 they conducted a surveying expedition along the Korean coast, but the Han River leading to Seoul proved to be too treacherous to navigate, so they planned on seizing Ganghwa Island and blockade the waterway. The expedition began in October, and a small fleet with around 800 men quickly captured the island. But in early November their assault on the mainland was driven back, and the Koreans began mobilizing their forces. So the few hundred defenders on the coast were reinforced with around 10,000 men. Therefore, another French assault was quickly repulsed, and with winter coming and no possibility of taking the mainland, the order to evacuate was given. They took with them a collection of royal books and items before bombarding the government buildings on the island. They then returned to Japan, where they were joined by a French military mission to the nation in order to train the Japanese army. But interest in Korea persisted despite these failures, and the next year a German merchant named Ernst Oppert tried to steal the body of the Daewon Gong's father. He hoped to use his remains as a ransom to force the regent to open up the country, but a large rock guarded the tomb, preventing him from stealing the body. He managed to escape from the soldiers who attacked, but this made the Koreans even more suspicious of the foreigners. However, the Americans, looking to find out what happened to the General Sherman and to open up the country, launched another expedition in 1871.